We talked at half-time about Kurt Tippett being the most dangerous man on the ground. Sam Reid certainly is vying for that position. He's kicked 1 goal 3, sprayed 3 early, but he finally got one straight from around the 50-metre line. And he has his first goal for the game. He's a key forward in the Sydney colours. Speaking of one key forward in Sydney colours, here's Barry Hall.
Yeah, thanks, Matty. We spoke about Kurt Tippett and the impact he's had. We're going to have a look at the 45 games he's played for the Swans so far, and he's probably hitting his career best form in terms of a Swan. He's been outstanding. He's been playing a role in the ruck. You have a look at the ranking points there. He's been really good for 4 or 5 weeks now. He kicked 3 goals last week, 5 goals the week before. He's had 3 shots a goal already today. This guy is rolling the ruck and to go forward and kick a few goals. We know he's always capable of it, but he's starting to hit his straps now. And the right time for the Sydney Swans point of view. They need to be able to score heavily. And with this guy up and going, kicking goals and having a roll in the ruck, that's a good thing going into a final series.
Spot on, Barry. You're very, very pleased, John Longmire, with his big man.
Yeah, we found some form, and he looks like he's fit as well. He's had some problems with fitness and injury throughout the early stages of this year and last year, for that matter. So really good signs for Kurt Tippett and the Sydney Swans.
Second half set to go. The pressure might come on the Swans if the Gold Coast get the first couple, because they have got something to lose. The Suns have got nothing to lose. As Smith wins the clearance, kicks it up high, but floating across and marking safely Laidler. Poor kick though, tumbled that towards Lynch. It shoots out to Stanley. He's got time to hook it back. Has he hooked it too far? He has.
Way too far.
Yeah, he probably expected more pressure, didn't he?
Well, it was good work from Laidler to drop off his man early, what Bomber spoke about, reading the cues to drop off quickly, but then just had heaps of time, just executed poorly with the kick.
Kick from Jetta on the way out was a little bit low. And again, numbers here for the Suns. Malcheski with the scoop. Again, Lynch the target, and you can't give him that much room. It's just a question of if he can straighten his kicking up like Sam Reid, and they're right back in it.
Well, it's almost an identical angle that he had in the second quarter. Yep. A couple of opportunities. One went right, one went left.
Get going, Tom.
And this one, I think he's normally a fairly good kick for goal. And this is a great pass from Nick Malcheski. But I think Tom Lynch will slot this one from 50.
Well, he's kicked 1. That was a snap. And he's had 2 set shots, and he's only managed to behind from 50 metres out. He's got it. He's got his second.
It's about the only thing I'm going well at tipping.
He's tipping, kicking pretty well.
Yeah, that's about it.
He kicked a few goals in the time.
But just his approach at the ball, because he's strong and tall and athletic, so once he gets front position, it's really hard to actually stop. See here, he pushes back towards the goal square, pushes off Grundy, runs into that space, and 2 grabs, and that's really good, especially once the ball gets a little bit slippery with the dew. Gets the palms right behind it, so drops it down to the front and takes the second grab. Really nicely executed mark and goal.
So he leads Charlie Dixon by 2 now, but look at that scoreboard. 15 points the margin.
Just a little bit of interest. The Richmond members are just starting to flick this one back on.
They've stopped the ironing at home. They're back on. It's a ball coming back for another bouncer.
And to repeat, the calculations were at least if Gold Coast gets 67 points and win the game, that'll be enough to see Richmond go into 4th position.
So with the score as it stands now, basically, it's just a win, isn't it?
Yeah, a win will be enough.
Yep. Cunningham comes through, and he's got a runner out wide, and Shaw. And he gets underneath it a bit. High ball. All attacker, but it falls for Aaron Hall. Now Miller's got a bit of time. So too Matera. The Swans just peel off, but Lynch again the target. Good solid run at it. Martin. Riscatelli almost. Second attempt. Stanley with another snap as he learned from his first. Dixon. Good. He jumped hard, Dixon. Thought it was a chance there, but well, he's had 2 snaps, Stanley, and he should have got one of them.
He certainly should have. And the reason why Richmond supporters are a little bit excited is because in the first quarter, Suns never scored a goal from their entries. Second quarter, they went 50%. Every second time they went inside 50, they got a goal.
Yeah, that's a remarkable stat. Kennedy had forced to kick it down low, and probably not what Sam Reid wanted. And Day there with him. It's an interesting matchup. They've switched Day back there.
Yeah, made that change. And Day does float from back and forward. And Charlie Dixon, after that marking contest or attempted mark in the goal square, just was slow getting up. We know he's had basically a chronic ankle injury that flares up sort of almost on a monthly basis. So it's not great.
So another block, another ruck infringement, and this time it's Tippet, who quickly gives off to Hanbury, and he wants Franklin. May got rid of him. The male shepherd here for Collegiasny. He'll try to get on his left. Quick kick. And hoping to get it up the line. Reid keeps it in. Well done by Reid, because he's got Jones, who gets on to Buddy Franklin with a little bit of time to spot up Tippet. Smith got the hand in there with the spoil. Ricochets back for Mitchell. That's a run with roll if I've ever seen it.
That was.
Miller was right on Hanbury, and Hanbury still took it.
He was right on his back too, I would have thought. Here's the contest coming in here. That's got to be in the back, doesn't it? Not sure what it was if it wasn't.
Already like a jockey. Working hard here, Sydney. They can sniff a goal. Jones, ball releases from him. Mitchell, palms off, got free, got it over to Tippet. It's touched off the boot, and Dale want to see it out.
But Day has the athleticism to go with Sam Reid. And I think probably he's going to settle his playing career in the back half. A big athletic centre-half back.
Pike. Dangerous ball again here for Sydney. Towers through. Comes out towards Brandon. Jack Kennedy again. Just in time, Luke Russell. Got there just in time to force the kick to go off the side of the boot.
And you mentioned Towers was the late inclusion for Jared McVeigh, so he wants to put his name up in lights for a spot next week against quite possibly the Fremantle Dockers. He had 11 disposals at 100% by foot, which is very good. And a goal.
Lonergan caught, had it a long time, holding the ball. Just had to get rid of it somehow.
And I think he was trying, but it was just a really good tackle from Mitchell. Had the arms pinned here, so wraps him up.
When he had his hands free, he has to make an attempt.
And we just heard the instruction from the
two hands free
umpire.
On the ball. He just needed to make an attempt to handle. Thank you. Just there. Yeah,
Stephen May just arguing the case for the Gold Coast Suns, but it's going to be Mitchell.
Yeah.
And they just stepped it up a little bit there, Sydney. Just the pressure, scoreboard pressure coming for them. Still in front by 14, but Mitchell to make it 20. Not going to be. It's across the face. In fact, he might not even score.
All clear.
No, he's just over the line.
Luckily for the Suns players, I think Rocket would have gone off his head if that was an uncontested mark on the goal line.
Wait. Move it on. Clear it out.
Wait, move it on.
What's that boy doing there?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. How can you tell him to wait, then kick it? Anyway, we're back with Mitchell. And Russell gets him again, and again it goes over the boundary line.
Oh, you'd want to see the Swans play a bit better, wouldn't you? A bit more intensity, a bit more purpose. And just going in for next week. They've just had a pretty ordinary start to the third quarter.
Next stoppage, Michael.
Maybe the umpire was saying, wait to the Sydney Swans player. Don't move, don't go at him just yet. That's the only explanation for that. Anyway, here's Reid. Jump at it. Lemons got boot to ball, just trying to get it towards the boundary. Tippett comes at it. Martin, he'll be clean below the knees. Now Chesky gets it away. Dixon and Grundy test out Dixon's ankle, but it bounces for Grundy to Rowan. Caught, managed to get it to Jeddah. Takes off, tries to hook it back. Probably a little bit too clever there, and it falls for Thompson.
Now, Tom Lynch didn't get a stat for that, but his lunging pressure on the ball carrier forced the elevated kick and the Thompson mark. So really good work, and that's why he's one of the elite young forwards in the comp.
Garlick had a jump at it, but couldn't take the mark, and just a bit of a stalemate at the moment.
And obviously, the win is so important, but there is stages where you do go through the motions late in the last round before finals, but they wouldn't want the Gold Coast Suns to get any closer. 15 points, they're still within range.
Zach Jones coming for the ground, and I reckon you might be right, Lynch. You listen to the crowd, they're starting to just get a little bit vocal, the Sydney chant.
Expecting more, aren't they?
Yep.
Ooh.
They certainly are.
Well, they know.
And they want a buffer.
Well, they know how this could go horribly wrong for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, because all these people have to buy a ticket to go to Perth.
Well, that's, yeah, it would not be, I think they're expecting to go to Perth next week.
Yep.
They don't want to be sitting up here with a home final next week and out of the top 4.
Well, a lot of them would have already bought their ticket they want. That's
right.
Yeah. What do you do with it then? Go to Perth for the weekend or watch the team at home here?
Tippet towards Kennedy. It's going to come out the back to Reid. Does pretty well to slip it to Mitchell. It's a ball to be won here. Hanbury wanted it the most. Towers, clever handball to Reid. Now Malcheski's under the pump. And Lonergan again. This time he did get hands-free. Got it over to Rory Thompson, who kicks it up high. Garlett off his chest. Hanbury fights for it hard. Went past his own man in Mitchell, who then gave it to Kennedy. And Kennedy wanted to get it into a dangerous spot. Thompson slaps it out wide. Shaw comes in. That's Matt Shaw for the Suns. And he'll win a free kick.
Yes, coming through.
Well, they're hanging in there. Again, the Suns.
There's real pressure, though, isn't
They
there?
are putting more pressure on the ball carrier, making it a little harder for the Swans to hit their targets.
Matera, just a half a fumble, but he maintains it. He hasn't got a lot to kick to yet. And he decides to go up the middle. Good pass to Sam Day. Malcheski. Garlett's got a bit of room to move on Cunningham.
Well, there's a chance here. Zach Smith pushing forward. He's got a mismatch.
He's going to go short. He gets too much air. And watch Sydney go here. Rowan with the turnover to Franklin. May with a double-fisted spoil, but hasn't got enough to carry the line. It has.
He's a good player, Stephen May. He's a really good defender. Rowan, good intercept, ran through, put the ball out in front of Buddy Franklin. And watch the closing speed. Stephen May knows when to go that last 2 or 3 metres to impact the contest. Whether it's hit the ball or the body, that's what you have to do.
Fantastic play.
Superb spoil. Kennedy towards Mitchell. Strong over the footy. Riscatelli gets him, though. Somehow he got it back to Cunningham. High ball up. Numbers, though, for Gold Coast. The spoil's an easy one there for Malcheski. Again, it's a bit of a stalemate on the scoreboard at the moment.
Big Bud's thinking, oh, I can't get away from this bloke.
He can't get a kick.
He's pretty quick and strong under that long ball as well.
But he can beat them all in a competition, though, can't he? Full fitness. Doesn't matter who he plays on.
That's right, one of the elite athletes in the competition, but just a little underdone after some time on the sideline, and still some restrictions with that lower back injury, or at least tightness.
7 disposals for Lance Franklin. Reid paddles it back towards Hanbury. Couldn't get boot to ball. Still the Swans press through Mitchell. Towers backwards. Tippet. Well, he toe poked it to Goods, and now Zach Smith with the clearing kick. But Sydney with the numbers. Reece Shaw. Time to assess. Jeddah. Got Heaney short. A lot of numbers inside his forward 50, though. Kennedy drops into a hole. Couldn't complete the mark. Got it now. Kennedy with strength. Inboard. Cunningham's got 2. Garlett's got him. Over the top of Tippet. And the Suns still hanging on. Malcheski. Cut off, though. In turn, Thompson cut the handball off. Hall. Lonergan. Free kick. Lemons.
Well done, young Lemons. Another one of the second-year players. Played plenty of football at the start of last year. He's forced his way back into the team in recent times and quits himself really well as that small defender.
Needs a mark from Lynch. He got it. No one forward, really. McKenzie runs on the diagonal. So too does Shaw. He waits for a runner. He's going to go in the McKenzie direction. 2-on-1, though, for Sydney. Grundy on hands and knees. Matera played for the free kick. Umpire didn't fall for it.
Thank you. Thanks, mate. Backing out this way.
So Sydney have had in their forward 50 for 4 or 5 minutes there. And the Suns do something quickly at the other end. Martin went without it. Second time. Russell. Hall tries to shrug his way through the tackle. Holding the ball.
He tried to barge through. I'm not sure he had prior opportunity, though.
Right out.
Looked like a big front row forward trying to break the line.
Mitchell's kick along the ground to Kennedy, who tries to bat it back to Zach Jones, who's back out there, but it's a boundary throw in. Margin still 15.
And still close enough. Young Jesse Lonergan just getting strapped up on the right calf.
Oh, as we've seen on the screen, the kick.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a corky, bit of a knocky, come limping off. I'd expect him to be back on.
Well, both subs have been used in the first quarter for both teams. Kieran Jack and Broughton as Danny Stanley kicks it up high. Classic 2-on-1 Sydney situation. Richards.
Spot on.
Oh, that's a risky handball for Grundy. Still risky for the Swans. Garlett kicked a beautiful goal in the second quarter. He's kept that in. Just overcooked the handball back to Shaw. Now Russell. Not a good kick from him. Hanbury. Lloyd.
He's still holding the ball in there. The pressure's certainly picked up from quarter time for the Suns.
Rampy.
Oh, the numbers out everywhere here, though.
They can go. Rowan with the overlap. Now Reid. Peeling off Malcheski. Thompson under pressure. And he can thank Malcheski for that. He left his man to go the spoil.
Yeah, and Nick Malcheski's had the 16 disposals, which is not a massive number. He's second for the Suns, but I think it's his best game.
Best we've seen from him.
Yeah, he's used the ball better, and he's known when to leave his man and go third up.
May, he's going to kick it over the top of Goods' head to Miller. Thought about playing on, but he didn't really have an option to kick to, so he has to wait. Bit of indecision. Now McKenzie probably didn't know it was headed for him. Not used to being a target, McKenzie, is he?
No, it's a strange one. Again, when they've got three bigs up there, that they're not finding a way to go long to one of those.
I think Sydney have set the ground up better. Their spare down back has become more prevalent.
Yeah.
And it's confused the Suns when they've got the ball. They don't know when to go in, how to go in. And they've played a better quarter of footy structurally, Swans.
And Russell, he had a bit of room there. He wants Lynch. Overcooks the kick. Matera on his wrong side, but this time he goes along the ground as he learns.
Nope.
Nope.
Wrong side of the post. You're right, they get in position really quickly, Bomber. That's where I think the Suns need to get to the other side to try to shift that defensive structure of the Swans. See this one here, just on the wrong side. He's very much a left footer, is Brandon Matera. Doesn't often kick on the right.
That's smothered on the way out, so a chance here for the Suns. Big Charlie bursting through. Garlett off the left. They pepper the goals, but they missed again. They could have got it back to single figures.
Because who was chasing? Who was chasing then? Was that the Canadian?
Was it Pike? Yeah,
Pike,
I think Pike was chasing Charlie Dixon then.
Oh, it looked like he was going in first gear. Good puffed.
Thank you, stay.
Sydney are going at 33% in this quarter.
What's that? Inside 50?
No, they're kicking the ball at 33%, hitting targets, so that's extremely low.
Low, yeah.
I mean, you think Sydney have got to be up in the mid-60s.
Jeddah on the way out, uses his pace, gets free, runs to the defensive 50, kicks it up high. Judging at best was Jack. That's Brandon Jack, inside 50. This will get the crowd going. It hits the woodwork.
Gets the Richmond fans going again.
Yeah, Tiger fans are hanging in there as well.
They're Richmond, aren't they?
Yeah, oh, that's... Yeah, I was agreeing with you, Alistair. It's round 23 if you want to have a go.
And Nick Malcheski, the #1 ranked player on the ground at this stage.
Kick up from Garlett. Again, it's over the back. Now, Riscatelli just hits in Hope. The hope is that it bounces for Lynch. He can get it over to Hall. He goes back the other way and kicks to the goal square. Well, in the end, it's the wrong option because Reid's got back there first.
Aaron Hall was giving him a bit of a cook, actually, and Aaron Hall probably needed to push up onto Mitchell, but instead he was giving one of his leaders a bit of a spray.
They're pressing here, Gold Coast, but they're not making any dent on the scoreboard. It's still 15-point margin.
Now, they have to get reward for effort. They've worked hard. They need to get a score before three-quarter time.
Richards' kick is out in front of Heaney. Well, he tried to take on Russell, couldn't get past. Tough one here for Lonergan. Kennedy paddles it forward. Russell comes back and throws it over the line.
He's Good work from Luke Russell to stick the tackle to start with on Isaac Heaney. Otherwise, Heaney was just going to turn him and drive the ball in forward 50 and then to get the ball over the boundary line. So good work from the sub that came into the game really early.
Riscatelli with the clearance. It's almost like next goal is the most important goal of the night, isn't it?
Next goal wins.
Next goal could be next goal wins. Jones went through. Stanley's kick up. Now Matera has got some speed to get there.
Look at the numbers back for the Swans again.
Rowan, speaking of speed, trying to use it. Oh, he's run 50.
Yeah.
He was too quick.
Yeah. He did everything right except deliver or take that second bounce.
Bit of a laugh. Had one bounce. He ran a long way at high speed. So takes possession 10 metres inside 50, just outside.
Bounces in the square and runs well over halfway.
It's a good 20-metre run.
Swans got the numbers back, protecting their forward 50. Good kick day.
Oh, loose checking.
Wonderful kick. Spotted that Aaron Hall had some room, and what a kick this is.
Talk about how hard it is to actually isolate Swans defenders one-on-one. It's almost impossible to find a free target inside their defensive 50, and on that occasion, Jones was the closest, but Aaron Hall was just taking an uncontested grab.
21 disposals for Hall. We've seen him have his PB 3 or 4 times in the last month, but this is a big kick. Not for him, for the Swans fans watching. Margin is 15 to get it to single figures. Not even going to go close. He's kicked it out on the full.
Probably tried to over-kick that one and pulled it, so a bad mistake when he's only 40 metres out.
Gee, poor kick, isn't it?
Poor kick on the way out, so it's catching.
Just off their game, the Swans, but they're not being hurt on the scoreboard.
Sydney haven't kicked a goal for the quarter. We've got 5 minutes remaining, and the Gold Coast have kicked one.
And that was in the first minute. Hasn't been a goal scored for quite some time.
Plenty of players around the ball. Aaron Hall again kicks it up high. Lynch goes back. Dixon is there. Beats everybody. First to it will be Lynch. They went off him. They fell off him. He lost possession. Tapped it back. Stanley tried to give it off to Matera. They've lost ground. They're outside 50. Can Matera hit a target on the way back? Yes, he can. Martin.
And Jeddah's sore. He's rolled that right ankle in the last contest. And he was on the ground for a few seconds and has just limped up to the mark. Jack Martin was all by himself.
Well, we speak highly of this young man every week about how polished he is.
He's a class act.
15, Jack.
They get another chance to bridge the gap. Martin. 40 metres out. He's not going to make the distance. Dixon recovers.
Oh, he's missed
and misses. This is unbelievable.
That was 1 metre out. Big Charlie's had an airy all but.
No one can kick a goal. That's going to stay in. That's unbelievable. Kolodjasny to Lynch by hand. Lemons, big dummy, 60 metres out, sets it to the top of the square. Smith. Pike. Pressure again for Sydney. On the way out, Towers the target. Shade the spoil. Big one at that. Mitchell did really well there. Didn't panic. Got it to shore. They might be on the way out here, Sydney.
Oh, Buddy's 50 by himself.
Yep. Somehow, you've got to give that to Mitchell. Somehow he kept it alive. Can someone please kick a goal? Buddy, don't let me down.
Oh, he has.
He's missed.
I just roll in the Benny Hill music for the last couple of minutes. It's been extraordinary.
No one can kick a goal.
He's just popped up out of a sprinkler there. All by himself and missed.
We've seen Dixon miss from a metre out. Martin doesn't make the distance of 40 metres. Towers in the way. Maybe just kick one from the boundary.
Well, this is probably the best chance. Another ball has just bounced onto the ground as well. And Towers, again, wanted to continue on, which has been a pretty good game for him. This will be possession 14. He's hit every target so far by foot. And he's kicked one goal.
15 goals.
He doesn't want to have a shot.
He doesn't want to have a shot. He's not going to. Ooh, Heaney attacked it hard. Reed around the corner. That'll do. The deadlock is broken.
to happen. He got about it the hard way. Dean Towers obviously didn't want to have a shot. Tried to honour the lead from Isaac Heaney. Missed that one. But Sam Reid was handy enough to snap a ball around the corner. There's Towers just intercept Mark. Poor kick out from Cole Jasny, the youngster.
Well, a lot of 20 minutes of football we've seen, hey? It's been mistake after mistake after mistake. But hopefully it improves from here now that the Swans have got one goal.
2-3 now for Sam Reid. Margin back to what it was at half-time. And we went, what, 22 minutes without a goal?
It was a long time without a goal and plenty of opportunities. And as silly as it sounds, that could just be the goal that really hurts the Suns. Could open the floodgates.
Hanbury's kick over the back, Buddy again. Doesn't fall for him. Off the ground goes big Stephen May. Gets plenty of distance. Wants to hit the boundary. It's not there yet. Oh, it is now.
Well, that's... He's going to pay there, no?
Dodged the ball at the Swans for me, boys. I just think the opportunities the Gold Coast had in this quarter, they almost should be in front. There's comedy capers there for nearly 15 minutes, but the opportunities they had, they almost could be in front. Dodged the ball at the Swans.
He's spot on.
I reckon you're right, Barry. Can't believe they missed so many easy shots at goal.
It slipped down for a
slipped
trip.
down.
Yep.
Kennedy
One-on-ones forward.
goes in the Franklin direction. May wins out again. Caught on his wrong side. So too is Cole Jasny. He's gone. Got the handball away. Miller taps it back though. Goods on the up. Jack. And as far as Shane Heaney keeps his feet. And that'll be a goal for Heaney. And the floodgates could well open here.
Gee, what a bit of play from the young man, eh? I think you're in love with him. You're a bit of man love for him, haven't you?
Oh, he's a star. He's a really impressive young player, the way he goes about it. And here, Shade had the opportunity. He's in front, just had to take clean possession. Isaac Heaney out of position. Didn't try to mark, tried to spoil. So he got the ball to ground and held his feet. And I'm sure from a coaching point of view, that's what you are. Stay on your feet. Once you go to ground, you're out of the contest.
I think we're going to see that for a long time. A lot of things he does like that, the young man. He's a beauty.
2 goals to Isaac Heaney, 2 goals in a minute for the Sydney Swans. All of a sudden they're out to a 28-point lead as we work out whether Alice Dillings has a man crush on Isaac Heaney. Hanbury working hard. It might just spark the Swans into some real hard running as we get some from Lloyd. Kicks really is a percentage play kick. If it wasn't going to go to Cunningham, it was going to go out of bounds.
And you would have seen it numerous times, whether it's for your team or the opposition, that you work so hard for 20-odd minutes, miss opportunities, and it goes back the other way and you get hurt.
Bang, bang, bang. Yep, you do. And it is frustrating, but it happens.
Dixon takes it out of the ruck. Martin misjudges it, comes down in front to Jones. Zach Jones caught by Zach Smith. But that handball doesn't find its target. Garlett. Now Russell gave it to Riscatelli. And hooked it around the corner. Lynch overruns it.
Back to you.
On the way back, Laidler.
Play on.
Rampy.
So their coverage here, Bomb, has been pretty good.
Yes.
The Suns have got out to cover those Swans runners, so it's forced Rampy to hold the ball up.
Here's your boy again.
Presented from a long lead and found his target. Well, he wanted 50, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Didn't get it. Look at the pass, though. He drilled it to Tippet. Dixon got in his way. Now Brandon Jack. One way, then the other. Smothered. Swans working hard for another one here. Maybe not. Matt Shaw has it.
Hold there.
Now Stanley. They've got to hold it up.
And they might as well get very aggressive. Take on the corridor. I mean, it's almost 3/4 time now, but nothing to lose in this last term.
Boy, Shaw sends it back in. Oh, great attempt at a mark, but it was Gary Rowan. Back into it, almost pulled it off.
Talk about that bit of play by Isaac Heaney. Not many kids could do that in their first year of footy and turn a disadvantaged position in one of advantage and end up with a goal. It's outstanding. I'm not mocking you, mate. I think he's fantastic.
Doesn't go far, that kick from Stanley. Tippett battling. Dixon, handball along the ground to Kolodjasny. That might have come off his boot.
Yeah, I think that was out in the full.
Yeah.
Now, it certainly come off his boot. Whether it went out on the full is another question, but umpire was right there.
Mitchell wanted to play on quickly, and that's hit the post on the full, so that'll be, I'd say that'll be it as far as the scoring goes.
Just dribbles off Kolodjasny's foot. Nah,
it's a bump ball.
Yeah, it's bump ball off his foot, but into the ground.
This side of the post. This side of the post. Just hold there, Isaac. Hold there.
Shade will just try and kick this towards a contest near the boundary line. Lynch jumps up, falls over the back for Rory Thompson.
Oh, he's hammered Laidler with a knee.
So it wasn't pretty at times in that third quarter, and we went 21 minutes without a goal. All of a sudden, Sydney get too late to give them the breathing space that they require. Three-quarter time, the SCG in this final minor round game. It's the Swans by 28. Plenty of speed, plenty of running on display in that third quarter. Some great athletes out there tonight, but some mistakes were made, and at times we were watching on, we couldn't believe it, but we had a young man called Isaac Heaney who stood up in the contest and right at the right time kicked the second goal for him and just gives the Sydney Swans a bit of a break. 77 plays, 49, margin 28, 2 each to Kennedy, Reid and Heaney, 2 each to Dixon and Lynch, and Kennedy and Mitchell. Mitchell had 14 disposals in that third quarter, and Kennedy and Hanbury had another 18 between them as well. So big performance by the Swans to get hold of it. Maybe not as efficient up forward. Let's get to ground level with Barry Hall.
Yeah, thanks, Matty. Well, the Sydney Swans certainly haven't had it their way today. 28 points at this stage and a late couple of goals give them that little bit of a buffer. But the Gold Coast Suns, from my point of view, were right in this game. They just missed their opportunities. John Longmire would have been filthy at three-quarter time. You don't want to be going playing this sort of football going into a final series. I reckon he would have been filthy. They're going to walk away from this game with a bit of confidence and finish this game and off on a good note. Now they haven't got the luxury to rest and give game time management to certain players. They've got to play this game out now. The Gold Coast Suns have pushed them, and for lack of opportunities and missed opportunities, the Swans have got a little bit of a buffer, but they've got to play this game out now.
That's right, Barry. As a premiership coach, Bomber, John Longmire in a similar position, what would you want from your group in this last quarter?
You want a good quarter of football, not actually scoreboard-wise, but as far as process-wise.
Yep.
You want to be accountable, defensive, you want to, when ball's there, we want to win it. That's the sort of things that he'd be looking for, but he doesn't look like a happy coach at the moment,
No,
Johnny.
he doesn't.
No, he looked very grumpy.
And he would be a little bit anxious as well. I'm sure you wouldn't want injuries as well. You just always got your fingers crossed that no one gets injured. But you're right. I think it's more the system rather than the margin.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. And one thing they're breaking down, like Goods has had, 8 possessions running at 25% kicking efficiency, hardly been noticed. And Franklin, he's had 9 possessions, he's running at 25% kicking efficiency. So, like, they're their forwards, they're the ones that have kicked the goals. And they're just, the structure's a bit wrong at the moment.
So 1 quarter to go for the season for the Suns, 1 quarter for the top 4 for Sydney. Simple as that. And Smith and Pike doing battle. First possession will go to Lonergan if he can get his arms free. He's learning, isn't he? He's got a boot to that. Hanbury gets the first kick, though. Inside 50 for Sydney. Goods. Franklin. 2 players that Bomber Thompson just mentioned. Franklin, back to Goods. On cue. Goal!
That was what we were looking for.
That's the way, Bomber. Good call.
Well, they just needed to be in the play, didn't they? And that was great. I reckon Sydney look best when they go down through dangerous parts of the ground. Yeah, they do look better. And that was a good bit of play by Goods, who's really needed to stand up and do something in this quarter and give it to the other boy, Buddy, who is really, like, he'll give this club a lot of confidence when he has a good last quarter.
Worth noting that Rory Thompson was on Buddy Franklin on that occasion. Stephen May's not, so I think Buddy'd be pretty happy with that change.
23rd for the season for Adam Goods. A timely one. Not just on the scoreboard, as Mark Thompson mentioned, but more about getting the best players involved and hitting the board. Jetta gets it from Hanbury. Heaney further up the ground at the moment. Reid his target. Now he's taken out of it there by Day, but it falls for Towers. Look at the run from Hanbury. He started it all. Pretty unlucky not to get a free kick.
Had an amazing first start to this quarter, hasn't he, Hanbury?
Yep. On the way out, Miller. Martin has a good mark. He's a good mark overhead for his size. He peels around and has Dixon on a lead.
Oh, uses it beautifully. But
Dixon
Charlie
let him
doing?
down.
Charlie, he's had his miss of the century at the other end in the last quarter and dropped that one.
Still, mate.
Lloyd. Good kick there from Cunningham to Pike. And we want a runner. Not there yet. Shaw. There he is. And a little bit of light issue there for Reid, but it stays in. Hanbury's lurking. Got it now. He's free. Tippet on the lead.
Still, mate.
Over the back it goes. Suns with the numbers. Kolajasny going to take on Goods. Kennedy's still there though. Hall.
It's a good grab.
I reckon 12 weeks ago he spills that.
Yeah, it would have probably run under it.
He'll run under it, yeah.
Yeah.
Clear out. Play
Such
on.
is his confidence now. It's stuck. Lynch. Dixon misses it. Jones overruns it. Or Garlett.
He shouldered arms that one, Garlett. Needed to tackle.
He just wandered past him.
That was extraordinary from Garlett. Actually just gave up.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. Let's hope he's got an injury or something. You're right, he just gave up on the contest. Heaney's kick. Kennedy never gives up on the contest. He's a machine.
You, mate. I'm helping.
Squeezes it into the pocket.
Oh, nice.
Tippet.
Yeah, good lead, good movement again.
Seems to me like all the experienced players have stood up a bit and gone a bit harder and a bit better this quarter.
Well, they might have got a little recalibration at three-quarter time from the coach with a bit of a spray, just to finish off on a good note, as you said, Bowen.
They have. They've started well. They've seen it well.
Tough kick though this for Tippet. Goes to the check side.
Clear.
Close, but not close enough.
Just wait for the play on call, though. It's no close.
Not a lot of movement at all.
Play on. You.
Mackenzie's kick is up high. Grundy at the back.
Play on.
Falls for Buscatelli.
I'll have it.
Move the ball up. Margin at 35, largest lead
Thanks, mate.
since quarter time when the Swans led by 37 points. From the contest, Pike to Kennedy. Smith gets involved. To Martin. Back to Luke Russell. Contest here between Dixon and Grundy. Here's Garlett. Can he make amends? Slices through. Kicks off the outside of the boot. Not a good kick. Rampy. Swans can go here if they can find a loose man. Jetta looks up, sees Goods on a lead. And it's a perfect handball of Towers. They just worked that beautifully, Sydney. Backed themselves in. Towers with the bounce. Here's the lead from Tippet. Transition footy is best. Be careful there, Thompson.
Yes. Not me.
But Bobby, you said this is probably the best game you've seen Kurt Tippett play. He's certainly moving as well as he ever has. He's up through the ground, covering some good kilometres, but on the lead, he's got some power to get out in front of his opponent. And yes, the Rory version of Thompson,
Yes.
coming late with the knees.
What's it kick
15
tonight?
seconds.
Kurt. Where is he? There he is. 1-3. 1-3. Can he make it 2-3? Yep, he can.
Well, he has played a good game. He hasn't diminished in any way, in my mind, that he's not playing his best footy. He is. He is playing his best footy. But one really important player for Sydney is Jetta, isn't he? Like the sub tonight. When he gets the ball and he runs the ball through the middle of the ground, he just sets it all up. And I'm sure they probably put him as sub there to freshen him up for next week. But since he's been on the ground, he's had a pretty good game.
They're so important, those line breakers. They can run into space, break lines, and get the ball quickly into the forward 50.
9 marks, 17 disposals, 2 goals, 3. Kurt Tippett. Another pretty useful game. Still got a bit of time left. Pike. Zach Smith gets there first, and he managed to get it out to Russell, who went without it, then tapped it forward. Well done, Lloyd. Worked hard to get it to Brandon Jack, who breaks free from the contest and kicks it up high. May with a spoil. Sydney with the numbers, though. Kennedy. Looks up. And he kicks to a contest. Reid with a good stretch.
And there's that spot on, that stretch, that reach. He does, and sometimes it can be a disadvantage for him, but he has the arms out straight above his head. So sometimes that allows the defender to come in and hit the contest, but he takes it at a very high point.
Certainly, he's a good athlete, him and his brother, isn't he?
Yep. 2 goals, 3. We've talked about his misses from about this distance. He's missed 3. But he's got that one on line, I think. Yep, that's another one to Sydney, and they're powering home now. 3 goals to Sam Reid.
Yeah, it's well and truly blown out now, but what Sydney are starting to rediscover is that forward 50 form. Sam Reid, who's played all over the place over the last couple of years, here's the reach, arms straight up, extended, probably tends to run under the ball a little rather than going early and taking the ball out in front of his face. But if the combination of Reid and the likes of Tippet and Goods and Franklin are going to be a real asset. Here's the ranking points. Sam Reid leads the game with 128.
Yes, he's had a good night, hasn't he? If I'm writing the script, Buddy's supposed to kick the next one. Goods, Tippet, Reid, Buddy, you're next.
Let's go.
Yep. They've blown the game out as far as an upset victory from the Suns. It's now 47, so it's just a question of what Sydney do from here in the last 15 minutes of play.
And we saw Kurt Tippett's ranking points up over 100. That's the first time in his career he's had 3 weeks in a row of over 100 points. So good sign, just reinforces what we're seeing. He's playing his best football.
Numbers will win out for Sydney. They work that nicely. Their key defenders involved. Now Jetta gets it back to Jones. He drills it onto the chest of Mitchell.
Play on.
But he's down near the goals, mate, so you might be right.
Yep. And Mitchell's not sure where to go here, though. That's better because his kicking efficiency lets him down at times. Hanbury, that's perfect. Shaw! Franklin's next, surely!
Closing speed from
Steve May. Yeah. Speak of May, that's a good pick-up and give at pace to Russell. Lynch trying to get on the half volley. Richards, handball in board. Laidler will give on the up to Lloyd. Steps around. Now Richards to Jetta. A lot of handballs, and Jetta decides that's too many. That's a slicing kick to Mitchell on the lead. Well, it was supposed to be Franklin, but I'm sure Dean Towers won't be too upset because he's going to go back and have a shot for his second.
I've liked this guy's game, boys. He's been fantastic. This is his 17th disposal coming up. He just gives them something different up forward. He's that size where you have to put a bit of time into him, a bit of time and effort. He gives us some run, but he has obviously taken some marks inside 50 as well. Been really good today.
He looks quite powerful, mate, doesn't he? He comes out with a bit of speed.
We talked about his set shot from the first quarter. It was a nice clinical finish. What can he do here for his second? Yep, he's got a good kicking action, hasn't he? Look at that, straight through. Never in doubt. Like it.
It's been an exceptional quarter footy so far by the Swans. There's no doubt that they've copped the big spray from their coach, John Longmire, the way he sort of stomped off the ground, and his experienced players have stood up very, very nicely. The best part about it is they're using a dangerous part of the ground. We've seen Jetta twice go there and get scores, and you've got the forward line set up, and they look like they're working well together.
So Tom Mitchell lace out there to Towers. He's going at 36% by foot, so he's not hitting the target too often, but that time he did.
All you can do when you come back into the side, if you're a late inclusion, is just keep putting your name up for next week in the finals. Franklin has a spell. Marching out to 53. They've just blown the game away. It was 15 for ages, and they've kicked 6. And here's Kennedy with another disposal for him. Might have been too much on the kick. Yeah, he has. Lynch gone back to help out.
Well, in pretty quick time since the Dixon missed snap, they've just 6 goals. Just
bang.
Put the game beyond doubt.
Yep. And we saw the Suns have 5 opportunities probably to get it to 9 points. They couldn't do it. Here's Riscatelli. Zach Smith's run a long way. Jones with some courage to get there. Smith spoils it. Wanted Garlett. Jones did well. And as he run out, he has.
Good work from Zach Smith, as you said, just to run over to provide an option, but then also to stay in the contest to put pressure on Jones. And he is sore.
What do you do with Buddy Franklin, boys? He's had an injury cloud. Obviously, he's a bit underdone coming in. He's not in the best touch. Do you put him on nice now and risk it, or you give him a bit more game time?
Bomber?
Defer to the coach.
I'd actually put him on. I think they're playing the right way. The ball come down often enough, Barry. We give the team and the club a hell of a lot of confidence if he got a few kicks. He needs them.
Laidler with the spoil. Mitchell releases Shaw by hand. They're going to have to be quick here. Towers did. Oh, look at the overlap run from Reece Shaw. Then he dribbles it. Could be a set play from the mongrel kick. Who knows? Sam Reid down low. Lynch caught. Numbers might win out for the Gold Coast. And Lemons takes on the tackler. Rowan will keep coming though.
No options.
And it's going to come back real quick. Lloyd.
Yeah, no options at all. Just the forwards were locked into their forward 50 and just didn't present up at the ball.
Lloyd waited for someone to get clear, and it's Rowan. And Reid will double back, will he? Or he goes longer towards Goods. I think Reid was probably the better option, but Kolodjasny cuts it off.
Well, they should be able to get transition coast to coast.
Now, McKenzie peels off to the goal square.
Injury update, boys. Gary Rowan's coming off the ground now. That last kick he had, concerns down here.
Okay, so we've already lost Kieran Jack. There's a free kick against Jeddah when it looked as though they were home and hosed there, the Gold Coast, but McKenzie will have a shot at goal. Yeah. There's Rowan. He's on this chase.
Now, he's had soft tissue injuries, and that's a big lunge. So hopefully he hasn't nicked a hamstring there.
Now, we know McKenzie can kick it as long as anyone in the game. I think he doesn't get a lot of set shots from 30 metres out.
He pokes these.
Yeah, exactly.
He tends to just tries to kick this 40 metres
instead
of kicking through it.
Yeah.
15 good.
On the reverse angle, McKenzie. For his first goal of the season, it's there. He holds its line, and the Gold Coast get one back.
It's a nice poke. Just poked them through from 40 very nicely. So good work. Here's Zach Smith. Just pulled up a little bit sore after that marking contest and the chase on Jones on the far side. And has just come off for a spell. It's, I think he's still working himself back over the last 12 months after an ACL reconstruction and been in and out of the team. And here it is, Gary Rowan. And that appears to be the outside of the right knee or lower quad. So Baz will be all over that one.
They're taking the tape off.
So.
All right, boys. Arms are up at it.
Well, I'd suggest with 11 minutes remaining, we might not see Rowan again. No. Here's Tippett, roving his own knock from the centre and going for goal. 2-on-1. Heaney still in it, keeps his feet again. Reid with a little toe poke towards the boundary.
Well, Kurt Tippett doesn't want to go off. He's having a field day out there, just running around everywhere.
Putting some ice on it now, boys, so he might be done for the day.
Whereabouts is the ice, Barry?
It's on the right knee.
Knee,
so that strapping they've taken off. It actually happened the moment after that incident. He actually kicked the ball, and then he was a bit hobbly after that.
Okay. We're going to be careful here. That's a good tackle. Franklin on Malcheski, and their teammates have a bit of push and shove, or the ex-teammates, I should say. It's a free kick. Rampy held his position.
Yeah, just Jack Martin just grabbed the jumper and dragged Rampy back, who got a really good body position.
Okay, so he uses Grundy. Grundy's going to think. We thought about the diagonal. Now he goes back to Jeddah, who can take it and go. Going to take on McKenzie. Oh, how's that for service?
That's two darts that Jeddah's kicked.
Been perfect
in the last 5 minutes.
Heaney pulls the kick to Shaw, who's having a big last quarter. Reece Shaw
spent a little bit of time, I reckon, at Collingwood leading out of the goal square for a week or two. Not something he's done too often, playing his last home and away game in his career.
Yeah, listen to the crowd.
The crowd want him to kick the goal.
They know that, and he decides. And listen to the play on to Mitchell, and Mitchell goes to Brandon Jack. They wanted the barrel, didn't they?
Well, Reece was tempted to actually say, that's why I'm retiring. I'm getting old and the hamstrings just haven't got that journey in them anymore. I think Brandon Jack, with the young hamstrings, will get the journey.
Yeah, it's just a question of accuracy. He's had 6 disposals in this last quarter, Reece Shaw. He's enjoying himself. So from the reverse angle, Brandon Jack.
Well, that's that wide.
Back 5 metres here. Just here. Wait for the play on pull.
Not sure what to say about that.
No, not his greatest work.
I'm flabbergasted.
That's it.
I think we can't see how he can miss by that far, but anyway. They might get another chance here. Here he is on cue, Reece Shaw. To Jeddah, who is kicking in this last quarter, has been brilliant. Can he make it 3 from 3? Yes, he can. Goods will take the mark and or the free kick.
Yeah, 50.
Yep. Is it 50?
Should be. It was late.
Oh, he's given it off. Rampy, designated kicker on the left. Bingo, goal.
Yeah, good work.
Goodsy looked after him.
Yeah, he did. Goodsy went back and took a pretty good mark. And Dane Rampy, who's been a good player for a few years now, sort of got in nicely and slotted that one through from outside 50. Here's Goodsy looking to give it off. Plenty of space. Just obviously the cue's gone in the rack from the Gold Coast Suns.
Well, they've been good all night, so you know, it'd be nice to finish the game off, but they had.
What's the margin now? 53 again?
They get 53 points.
Are you happy with Goods' last quarter? I am.
I think he's
been, yeah.
He's going to be an X factor. Just to pop up, his moments are going to be important. Both ways. Not to get hurt defensively, but offensively he's going to be important, I'm sure.
Another strong tackle from Hanbury, and they're off and running again, Sydney. They're determined, although he's overcooked that one. He's been kicking well tonight, Hanbury. They're determined to really run this game out and kick plenty of goals. 8 minutes remaining in the quarter.
You must be thinking now, especially when you see a medial ligament with a bit of ice on it with one of your young stars, Gary Rowan. You must be thinking as a coach now, surely, Bomber, let's just finish this. Let's get my team off safe and well.
Blow the siren.
Yep.
Aaron Hall. He got free and keep going here.
He's got to. He hasn't got too many options.
So he kicked it up and said, you catch that. Good luck.
If you catch that, you're a genius.
Rampy on the way back. Here's Goods. Now, if he goes on the angle, Towers is an option. We might go himself, and he couldn't get around. Kennedy. 55 out. He's kicked two. He decides he wants to go all the way. Wrong side of the post.
Thanks, buddy. Just back here, mate.
Kennedy up to 29. And this will be his 9th 30-plus if he can get to it, which is only bettered by Dane Swan, who's done it 10 times.
Yeah, you got it. It's talking. What are you, computer? The stats computer.
Just from memory, Bob.
Oh, no, it's a good one. Good stat.
Obviously, TV broke down during the week. Here's Matera slipping it over to Hall, who got it from Stanley. Now Mackenzie again, the target. But Sydney will have the numbers. But Laidler will make a bit of a meal of it. Just kept it in.
Oh.
That's a meal. It's not a happy meal.
You knew the meal was coming in. You knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen. But then it did.
Yeah. Bit of bird's nest soup. So Zach Smith's probably not the best option for the Suns to be the man having a shot from the angle.
If he has a shot, not a problem at all here, Matty. Just to finish off the home and away season. Kicks a really up and down high drop punt.
Goes across the face.
Low pull.
Well, he doesn't have many kicks, so it's a low set.
That's
you
right.
know. Doesn't have many kicks at all. He's had 3 tonight. Zach?
He's one of a number of Gold Coast Suns players that have been spoken about at other clubs.
Here he is again. Got it free. Miller, though. It's pinched by Hanbury. Sydney on the way out. Sure. Now Franklin runs. He's used. He's probably only got one option. That's Reed. He has to wait. Chipped it back into the middle to Grundy, and Swans will reset.
Big switch on.
The switch on. Now the kick is a good one. It's an instructive kick. A kick out in front so that he could keep running. And the hand over to Cunningham. And he's got 3. That's how you do it. One way then the other, then straight through the middle.
Just that midfield class and depth. And they've got a couple of their stars out at the side, obviously, in McVeigh and Parker in particular.
And Jack off.
And Jack
went off in the first quarter. Yeah.
And so Cunningham steps up. Mitchell, as he has over the last month or more, his 29 disposal just racked up plenty. Kennedy does it week in, week out, as does Hanbury with 29. Shaw's had plenty off half-back. And Towers, as the late inclusion, he's been good as well.
3 goals for Harry Cunningham.
Don't cross either of his cross before the ball hits the
Best
ground.
return for him for the season. Sydney up by 60, and the crowd happy now.
Play on.
Here's Mitchell. And he's going to go long. Heaney at the back. Towers or Heaney. Now one needs the shepherd.
Well, one needs a spot in the team, so he'll take the shot.
Here he goes. Oh, he's going to fall over and give it to Jeddah.
Back to you. Back to
He
you.
goes backwards to Lloyd. Out of range. Surely there's no room for a lead there. In comes Kennedy. Aaron Hall. Lonergan. Kennedy again. Brute strength, dribbles it along the ground. Still alive here for the Swans. Mitchell decides to go himself and kicks another one. It's raining goals for Sydney.
Well, huge last quarter.
Yes.
It's been a huge last quarter for Tom Mitchell as well. So he's up to 31. His disposal efficiency's just picked up. The tackling pressure and intensity around the ball has picked up for the Swans as well. I mean, Kennedy just keeps doing it. Yeah, they've dropped off, as you'd expect, the Gold Coast Suns.
Say that young Mitchell's a automatic selection now.
I think with Parker out, there is no question that Mitchell's in.
He's just taking his role, isn't it?
You'd find it hard to think how Mitchell could actually get out of the side. I mean,
especially now. But
the work that he's been doing of late has been first class.
I agree.
Goods. He sort of lost that, but it fell for the man in question for disposal 32. A little bit over the top of Jones, and he decides to just lay it out for Pike. It's always Big Mike, isn't it? It's never just Pike, it's Big Mike Pike. Kicks it up high. Hall to Stanley. And that's a
On the man, Gold Coast.
Gold Coast free kick for a hold.
Back here, please, Jeremy.
Hall will come up for another disposal.
Play on.
29 for him. And he's got Dixon, who can give it off if he goes quickly. Decides to play on, circle around. Up towards Mackenzie. Crashes the pack. Riscatelli's got it. He goes around the corner. Has he turned it enough? On side of the post.
The leg break went the wrong way. Michael Riscatelli just continues to work hard.
Come out for me. Hey.
Laidler is the option.
You. Look.
Towers presents for him.
His Towers up to 20 now. Very much got his name in the frame for next week.
Thompson. Bounces off of Kolodjasny's hands back to him. Russell's going to be caught. He gets the benefit of the doubt that he was out of play before the tackle was completed.
And Johnny Longley, we just wrapped with the intent. 3 goals, 3. Tackling pressure's been really good as well. Sam Reid taking 10 marks. Contested possessions, 10.
Lonergan, he got free. And he kicks it up high, hoping for Lynch. Over the back it goes. Lynch traps it, gets around the corner and misses.
Something with those left foot snaps for the big Suns forwards. Another good year for Tom Lynch, though. In the first half of last year, he put himself in the frame for All-Australian discussions. And it might have slipped back a little, but there's no doubting he's in that class.
And the Swans decide to go up the corridor. Taken beautifully by Hannibal. Franklin. Kick smothered. May. Looked like a tired handball from him. Kolodjasny. Off a step Stanley. It might fall for Mackenzie. Well, we saw him get one from about 10 metres closer to goal.
Did it very easily. His last shot at goal earlier in this term.
He's coming around 1 metre.
68 inside 50s for the Suns, Swans rather. 41 to the Gold Coast Suns. 31 scoring shots
15 gone.
to 17.
So McKenzie for his second in this last quarter. He's hooked it. He's missed. On the way out. Jones. Heaney. Got that good spring, as we know.
Yeah. Jumps early, protects the ball with his body, makes it really hard for a defender to get a fist on the ball.
Mitchell's going to have to go, and it's a well-weighted kick for Mitchell.
Well, he's not going to, because no one's going to him.
Kolodjasny, the intercept from 50. He decides to keep it low, and he kicks the goal. Is that a good year, Kolodjasny?
He certainly has.
Yeah, it's capped off a really good season for young Kolodjasny. In his second season, here's the turnover.
Good intercept, wasn't it? Good reading of the play.
Well, that's right. Again, reading those triggers when to go and intercept, and good composure. Just didn't try to overkick it, just speared it low dart, and goes through for a nice goal. And
Jason can sit back down because he was off the couch for halfway through.
That's right. I don't think he'd mind the low dart like that's the one that goes end over end and tries to go around corners. That really gets under his skin. Not a lot to celebrate for the Gold Coast Suns after what's been a really disappointing year.
He
all in all.
Top 3 best and fairest?
Yeah, top 3, top 4 at the lowest, but really impressive year.
Here's Dixon in the ruck. And he hooks it back. There's McKenzie attacking it again. Brandon Jack by hand to Laidler. The man on the outer is Cunningham, and running for him is Mitchell. And he's just had a really big second half, hasn't he?
He can't get away from the ball at the moment, Mitchell. 34.
Reed. His kick up towards Heaney, and Kolodjasny puts it over the line.
Mitchell's had 12 tackles as well in a game of football. He's a really contested ball player, isn't he?
Yep.
Just accumulates.
Let's have a look at Tom Mitchell's last month, and as I said, today he's had 34, and he's had some impressive numbers: 37, 23, 41 just a couple of weeks ago, and then 34 last week and 2 goals. So has become a really important player for this team.
Plenty of time here for Sydney. Maybe they've got one more in them.
So he's an automatic selection then, Mitchell?
Yep.
Automatic.
It doesn't go out of the team now. No.
Heaney back for Jeddah and turned Kennedy. Thought about Lloyd and decided to go in the Franklin direction. Been hard to get away from Ray, but he wanted to get in on the act and get one late, get one and join the party.
He's played on.
Round the corner.
Get excited, buddy.
He is excited. He's got it. At last.
He's got one on the belt. And
He just needed one too, didn't he?
well, it did. I mean, as we were talking before, I wasn't the greatest goal kicker.
Yeah.
I can't believe players play on from that situation, just snap around the body. I think it's to take the pressure off. It's been such a really good contest. I think Stephen May has won that contest, worked extremely hard, given no space to Buddy Franklin, and that was a really good mark. I mean, obviously he's a superstar of the competition, went up and going, but look at this, just thinks, no, I'll just play on there.
I mean, some people
just don't get it.
I reckon that Stevie Johnson and Paul Chapman used to prefer kicking on the run than set shots.
Rather
They
than-
had too much time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Huddy seems to be like that too. Like he
Yeah, he
misses a
often
lot of
does.
set shot ones.
So 8 goals for the quarter for the Swans. That's the way to finish off going into a final series. Well, maybe. I know there's 40 seconds to go, but Jack gets it to Goods. Throw. Well,
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Straight to Jack Martin. Thank you. Stay, Brendan. Play on.
Martin just lays it off to Lemons.
Play on.
So perhaps the Suns have the last laugh,
Play on.
or the last shot at goal. Hall looked to be tired there as he slid into that.
Righty.
Jones gets up sore. I think got a knee on the quad there.
Just like saw this last
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, sore and cut, and
Yeah.
he's one of those young players trying to put his hand up to stay in this team, to play finals football.
Pike to Goods. Dixon with a palm off. Can't get past Goods. To Hall. By hand. Stanley facing goal from just outside 50. To the goal square he goes. And it's out of bounds.
1 second to go. I think that spoil just really typified Ted Richards' last month. I reckon just before that there was a few question marks how he was going, but their systems down back are starting to work again.
The throw-in comes, and that's all she wrote. 127 plays 64, virtually double. Final margin in front of 25,500, 63 points. It'll be a much happier coach from what he saw in that final quarter.
Yeah, I think he'd be very satisfied that his team got back into their system. They played real Sydney Swans style of football. The concern would be, as we saw on the interchange bench on the crutches, is Kieran Jack with that knee injury. Not exactly sure the significance of it, but it looks like there is damage to that medial ligament on his left leg from a first quarter incident, and so that'll be the major concern over the next 24 hours once the scans are assessed. Sam Reid, really good news. And Barry Hall is downstairs with one of the stars of the game, Kurt Tippet.
Yeah, Tippet, well, he got the job done in the end, but Gold Coast comes second and third quarter, they're right in it.
Yeah, I think there was a marked difference between our first and second quarters in our intensity, so we weren't happy with that at half-time and tried to address that the best we could. It was great to sort of come out and get some momentum in the second half.
And three-quarter time break, obviously something was said, because after that you come out, the intensity around the ball was a lot better.
Yeah, look, it's important to finish off every game. We've got some footy ahead of us and we want to keep the momentum up, so that was important for us.
What about your own form? You've been really good over the past month. You've been playing a ruck role, but you've been pushing forward and kicking some goals too. It's been nice.
Yeah, it has been. It's been coming together a little bit. I'm certainly enjoying it. It's a good challenge. Yeah, it's something I'll continue to build on.
And you've been really good over the last month, the team as a whole. How do you rate the form going into a final series?
Oh, I think our form's been solid. You know, we work hard all year to put ourselves in a position like this, and it's going to be exciting going forward now.
Big final series ahead. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yes, he's in good form, and his team does the right thing. They kicked 19 goals tonight. Kicked 14 of the 19 in the first and last quarters. So when they wanted to turn it on, they were too good for the Gold Coast Suns. Swans will finish fourth. They'll play in the finals next week, and they've defeated the Gold Coast by 63. We'll take a break. Some of the big names for the Sydney Swans arrived on time, and their forward line, when it functions as well as any in the competition. And in that last quarter, they were kicking goals from everywhere. They kicked 8 goals in the final quarter. They responded to their chat from their coach at three-quarter time, and in the end, they've had a big victory. What about the first quarter? 6 goals to zip, and they're up by 37 points before 6 goals the other way for the Gold Coast. Got them back in the game, and for 20 minutes in the third quarter, no one kicked a goal, and the Gold Coast almost looked like they might at least challenge for an unlikely victory before that final quarter, 8 goals to 2. They shared the load up forward. Reid, Cunningham 3, Kennedy, Towers and Tippet and Heaney all got 2. Dixon and Lynch and McKenzie went forward to kick 2 goals also for the Suns. But in the end, it's a big victory, 63 points for Sydney Swans, and just what they needed really going into the final series. Some really good news to come out of that last quarter.
Some good news. They did what they needed to do. They were a bit sluggish at times, and we thought the pressure was going to be applied after the Gold Coast Suns kicked the first goal in the third quarter, but then it was just they didn't take their opportunities, and that's where it fell away. But full credit to the Swans today.
Well, I think in the last quarter especially, definitely John had something to say to them at three-quarter time. They've come out and they're experienced players. They've hit the ball hard. They've won it. They've been directing their ball movement, and they've all stood up and had possessions and played the right way.
We've got a lot to like about their season. The one bad thing is perhaps how serious the injury is to Kieran Jack.
Yeah, hurt his knee just before quarter time. Looks like it's some sort of medial strain. The significance is yet to be determined, but we'll see and hear that over the next 24 hours. So that should be the only major concern. Kurt Tippet, 150 game celebration.
And he's in good nick, and he's going to be very important. As the Sydney Swans win their 16th game of the season, they'll finish 4th. They'll play Fremantle next week. On behalf of all the team, good night from the SCG.